What's up, my dudes? This is my new custom track called Lunar Oasis, and listen to me closely, bro. This is as hard as you can make a supercross track in MX Simulator without it being just straight up unrideable. So, this is going to be for about 2% of the population, okay? This is an insanity track right here, man. I mean, it is literally as big as you can make the peaks on the jumps without it just being straight up annoying to even try to ride on. It's as big, it's like borderline teeter-tottering on just being absolutely more than pastrana and then not even fun at all. You see what I'm saying? So it is the maximum that you can make a supercross track in MX Simulator. Could I make some of these peaks a little more peaked? Yeah, but then it would make it to where you would just crash on every single jump. So she's on that borderline, but I want you guys to really think about the name of this track, Lunar Oasis, and don't get too caught up in the lunar meaning moon. Just kind of think of lunar as meaning space in general. There is a really, really deep meaning behind the name of this track. And it fits it just like so awesome, and I want you guys to think about that, and I'll actually go in there and tell you what it means at the end of the video, because it's sick, dude. I don't know how I ever came up with that, but there's a really, really deep meaning, and I think most people won't even get it until I actually tell them what it means. So when I was building this track right here, I was listening to a song called Blue Gazer Mindscape. You can type that in on YouTube. It's Blugazer, and then Mindscape and original mix. And that's one of those songs where, like, right about the midpoint way through that song, it just gets absolutely amazing. And so that's kind of where my inspiration, that's what I was listening to when I was building this track right here. So if you want to, you know, go listen to that song while you're riding on the track, you'll get an idea of what was running through my mind when I was actually building the track here. So, but yeah, I mean, the off track and everything, I understand it's a little more basic because it's meant to be kind of a desert type vibe going on, and then, you know, the oasis in the middle. But I actually ended up crashing right here. Dude, this rhythm section, like, oh my gosh, it has to be the biggest rhythm section in MX Simulator history that you can actually even somewhat consistently hit. Let me fast forward this right here. Yeah, let me say you can consistently hit it, and then here I am crashing twice on it. But, oh, it's massive, dude. Just insane. So, right here, I actually rolled over this jump to show you guys what was act like I did that on purpose. Yeah, totally crashed twice. And, yeah, I'm rolling over it, guys, just for you. But, okay, so, yeah, right here. So that's the actual oasis portion, and if you hit the jump, obviously you jump all the way over it. The water has a slick feel, the sand has a sandy feel, and then the dirt has its own feel. So obviously, not trying to be a super realistic track here, it does have some roughness just to add a little something in there, more so than just perfectly flat. But most insane whoop section in the history of MX Simulator right here that you can actually hit. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about this track. It's the most insane track in MX Simulator that you can actually possibly ride on. Now, I'm not, you know, there's probably more extreme size jumps out there, and there's probably more extreme lipped jumps out there. There's probably more extreme whoop sections out there or whatever. But those, if it gets any harder than this, then it's too hard to even think about consistently running laps on it. Whereas like this track, you could do it if you were really, really good at the game. So, but yeah, this track right here, I mean, it's going to be for like the Roots and the Fresquezes, and those dudes are probably going to see more fun on this track than somebody like a beginner pro, or obviously a beginner or an amateur. But I would even go as far as to say like a beginner level pro in this game is probably not going to have too much fun on this track. I mean, it's that difficult. So just keep that in mind. But I recommend being at least, I mean, I'm on a 2016 SXF KTM 450, and I recommend at least being on that bike. You know, definitely on a 450, but I mean, I'll even go as far as to say you need to be on like a newer 450 to get that little bit extra power to hit some of this stuff. But yeah, man, pretty sick. Just crazy track. Like I'm saying, I wasn't trying to make any, you know, fun for 250s and 125s, or trying to make a super hyper realistic track with ruts and all this other shit. I was just trying to make a fun, big scaled, almost unrealistic supercross track. Some people will consider this unrealistic, and it's right there. You know, it's right there. Like this will 99.99% probably never actually be built in real life to this scale, but it could be theoretically, quote unquote, if you know what I mean. Like, it could be, so you can never totally rule that out. Whereas like you can make jumps in this game that are like actually physically impossible to build, whereas like this track still keeps it like just a sliver in that realm of it is possible. So that's kind of a cool thing about it. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some little bit of roughness here and there, but I need to zoom out a little bit. This jump right here is pretty insane. You know, it doesn't really do it any justice in like the third person or the first person, but when I get in that little side view where I'm like pretty much like a bystander on the track watching how big the jumps are and stuff, that's when you'll really see how humongous this stuff is. Let me actually go do that before I do this so it makes a little bit more sense. But you can see these whoops right here. I mean, humongous in scale. Got the wall coming right out of this corner. I don't know if I've ever seen a supercross track that had this big of whoops right off the gate, so that was something kind of unique and cool that I wanted to do. Just something a little bit different. You can kind of work your way down it. This almost becomes a little bit of a rough, like dug down in the dirt berm right here, and got the wall. Then you can almost get in a little bit of a jump rhythm when you come over all of that. But let me pause it real quick. I just want you to see the scale of this triple right here. Like, oh my gosh, dude. It's humongous. Everything about it. And it's not even like you have that much room to hit it. It's just so much fun, though. I mean, that is this track. F-U-N, dog. Like, I don't know. And it's going to be, like, so frustrating to most people out there. They're going to quit playing it after like half of a lap, and I totally understand that. But for the people that are really masters at MX Simulator, like Pastrana level people, they will actually find a lot of enjoyment out of this track right here. But this rhythm section, oh my gosh, dude. Just everything's basically scaled up like 2 times as big. Like just, you know, straight up literally twice as big, or maybe even 3 times as big as your average. Yeah, it's probably more like 3 times now that I look at it, in every sense of the word. Like the peaks, the length of the jumps, everything about it is about, you know, 3 times your normal average supercross track. So just let that kind of sink in. Oh my gosh, dude, look at that. That's a 5 jump right there. So you go triple, quad, 5, and then you jump over the actual Oasis little area right here. So let me get it in a better view so I can show you guys. It's just so humongous, dude. Okay, so you come over that bad boy, 5th gear tapped. You guys can probably barely even see my bike, but pretty cool track right here though, man. I mean, it's definitely a lot of fun once you kind of figure out a couple of these sections right here. And humongous whoop section over there, and then you've got this one section where it's like a kind of like a humongous wheel tap where you can jump over and quad. Then you got this other rhythm section. You can like triple up onto the table and then jump off. I actually came up a little bit short on this quad right here because I let off just a little bit. I was thinking I was going to over jump it, but it's hittable. Trust me, I've hit it multiple times, but it was hard to like string together a full lap. I was really, really close. I was pretty bummed that I crashed right here on this very last jump. Hit everything to perfection, and then, of course, had to come up an inch short on the last quad because I let off just a little bit thinking I was going to over jump. Like, if I would have just hit it like I knew in my mind, I would have hit it perfect, but Then you come back around, you got this really cool, this is where the lap actually ends right here, and then you hit this really cool little like dug down it. It becomes an awesome berm, and you can like double out of that. So, but yeah, awesome track. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to leave a link in the description to it so you guys can go download it. And so I wanted to fast forward that gameplay just a little bit to show you guys something over here. Not this whip right here, but something on this rhythm section. You can actually hit a smaller line. You know, it's one of those rhythm sections you have to be perfectly landing jumps and perfectly hitting it with momentum. But if you mess up on one, you can slow down and just hit a smaller jump. And I want you guys to understand that, you know. You're not going to be hitting this rhythm perfect every lap, I can promise you. You can see like that right there. You can pretty much just do like triple, triple, triple. I messed up a little bit there on the last triple, but and it's meant to be that way, you know, like, so you mess up and you can't hit this big jump, so you actually go through the Oasis instead of jumping over it. So it's meant to have that dynamic to it. Like, you're meant to ride over this, so don't get it twisted and think you have to jump that every lap, because that's not the way it's meant to be. It's just like, if you do happen to jump everything perfect, then you can just sky it out, bro. But yeah, awesome whoop section. Humongous, dude. I love the thought of tracks like this. I don't know why, but and it's, if you're not at that skill level, you can't even ride on something like this, so it's not fun. But when you do get to the skill level, it's like, yes, this is awesome. Okay, so let me talk about the actual track name. So if you guys thought about it or whatever, let me actually talk about it a little bit. So the name is Lunar Oasis, okay? So it's kind of hard to explain because it's deep. It's really, really deep. So, okay, so let me see if I can, it's just so hard to explain. All right, so to me, space, you know, lunar, space, anything to do with galaxies or anything like that, that means to me like pushing the limits, you know, because that is the limits of our own world, because it's unlimited out there. So that is our, like, oh my gosh, that is just the amazing, super next level, you know, limits. And when you think about Oasis, that's kind of like diamond in the rough in a sense. So, and it's kind of like the cream of the crop is going to be your Oasis. So, in a sense, Lunar Oasis is, you know, the track. Let me think. It's hard to even put it into words. Okay, so like, you know, I was saying galaxy meant like this next level, super crazy, you know, unreal thing. Well, that's kind of how the track is, but it's the Oasis of that at the same time. You see what I'm saying? It's the cream of the crop of the next level, crazy out there galaxy space. And it all comes together because it's Lunar Oasis. But not only is it that, that's what the actual biome of the track is. If that even comes together to you guys. I don't even know if I explained that properly, but when you really, really get it, it's like, oh shit, that's crazy, Spencer. Like, if you don't get it all the way, you're probably like, that's kind of dumb, Spencer. That's not even cool. But if you really, really understand what I'm saying, then it's really awesome, because it's almost like a two-way meaning track with the name and everything. So, yeah, link in the description. Hope you guys enjoy it. Not trying to be super realistic, just a fun, crazy track. So, anyways, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.